We continue to follow breaking news coverage this morning from the southwest side of Indianapolis. 8 people shot and killed at the FedEx facility on Mirabel Rd. More people we know hurt and rushed to the hospital. Police tell us that shooter took his own life. Thanks for staying with us on our continuing coverage here this morning on Sunrise at 6. I'm Julia, along with Carlos here this morning. Carlos?
Yeah, the word tragic doesn't even begin to touch the surface of this story. Truly a heartbreaking morning for the entire city of Indianapolis. We want to take a look at the map right now to kind of show you what we're talking about. Anyone with family who works at the FedEx facility who may have been working at the time of this shooting is asked to go to the Holiday Inn about a mile down the road to get more information. That's where our Karen Campbell is standing by. We'll get to her in just a minute. But first, Julia Brooks is here in the studio. We've got team coverage, as you can see, and we start with Julia. Of course, and let's go to Emily first. She's live at the FedEx facility to bring us the very latest. Emily?
Well, Carlos, Julia, it has been a long night for investigators here processing this scene, but an even longer night, you have to imagine, for the family members of the people who worked inside this facility. We know that police are still on scene here interviewing witnesses. They are even interviewing some of the folks that were taken to area hospitals, some of them with gunshot wounds, at least one of them critically, some taken to area hospitals with other injuries. But they say that they believe that there are still people out there that they still have to talk to, witnesses who might have gotten away when the gunfire started, and police want to talk to them. We do know that this all started just after 11 when police got here to a report of shots fired. When they got here, they say they encountered an active shooter, but the shooter ultimately ended up taking his life, leaving 9 people dead, including that gunman. Again, multiple injuries from gunshots and some other injuries, people at area hospitals. At this point, police are not releasing anything officially on the gunman. Take a listen.
That's something that we're still trying to figure out exactly how, why, what went on, and this is going to be an investigation that goes on throughout the day.
Now, we did talk to one witness last night who had gotten out safely from the facility, and he described being there at work and hearing a noise like a car backfiring, and he thought that's what it was initially, and then as he heard it again and again, he knew it was gunfire, and then he described looking up and seeing the gunman actually walking through the facility, shouting something he couldn't hear or understand what he was saying over the gunfire and shooting. And so that's what we know about the gunman from a witness. But again, police is saying that this is going to be a long investigation. We're likely to hear more stories like the one we heard from that witness last night. But police describing the scene in there is something no one should ever have to see. And of course, Karen Campbell is standing by at the Family Reunification Center, a moment that no family should ever have to experience. Karen?
Yeah, Emily, you're right. I mean, who wants to experience this? It's something you don't expect to happen, right? You know, coming to a Holiday Inn hours into the morning, just trying to find out if your family member is okay and when you'll be able to see them again. That's what a lot of people have been doing here. We're going on, what, 6 hours now, 7 hours? And a lot of family, you know, they started coming to this Holiday Inn Express Stansted Road here near the Indianapolis Airport. That's where IMPD has been telling family members and loved ones to come to find out more about your loved ones who are working in that FedEx facility. Are they okay? Were they one of the injured transported to the hospital? You know, I met a woman inside. I didn't get a chance to speak to her, but, you know, she was, of course, just visibly upset because she said she was looking for her daughter. It's been 6 hours since she's, you know, heard anything from her daughter. She worked inside of that facility, and she hasn't heard from her. Can't contact her on the phone. She's called, she said, Eskenazi Hospital 3 times, and she can't get any answers. And again, that's just the feelings, the emotions that a lot of people here inside this Holiday Inn are going through, just waiting and wondering what's going on. Take a listen to this young man who we met up with last night, who says, you know, he was there outside of that facility when everything started going down.
I really didn't even have time to process it. You know, I'm inside, my team lead comes to me, he's like, 4 people got shot by the gas station. I'm like, okay, that's crazy. And then coming back, you know, I go back to what I'm doing. And by the time we go out to break, I'm about to get my cell phone in the lockers. And they're like, you can't even go to the lockers. You got to stay in the break room. We got an active shooter. We don't know what's going on. So at that time, I really it just took a while to process. I'm happy that, you know, nobody else got hurt out of this. You know, again, condolences to families that did get hurt. But other than that, I'm happy there was no more bloodshed. You feel very great to, you know, see them again, because they were telling us they didn't even know what time they were going to let us out. They were like, well, until we clear everything out, you guys are stuck in here.
And that's what's been going on. You know, as I mentioned, we are after 6 a.m. now, and there are family members still behind these doors in conference rooms in this Holiday Inn Express because they still just don't know. Carlos?
Aaron, thank you so much. Let's go to Julia Brooks here in the studio this morning. Again, this all happened at the FedEx ground facility, and you're working to learn more about the workplace, Julia.
Right, and one thing that we wanted to be sure to clarify this morning is where this is. So we've been saying this is the FedEx ground facility, not the FedEx air facility that you likely see from the interstate as you head to the airport. So hopefully this map will help put this into context. We're talking about this ground facility, not this FedEx ship center. So this is near the airport, but it's on Mirabel Road, and that's south of I-70 in an industrial area. It's just off of Ronald Reagan Parkway, which turns into Ameriplex Parkway. And as we've shared, again, we know that 8 victims are dead at the hands of the gunman who took his own life. And as we've been keeping you updated online and social media, we've actually had a handful of comments sharing their own close calls as those shots rang out. Like this comment we're sharing from Chrissy Lynn on our Facebook page there. She says that she's an employee that saw the whole thing from her car. She says it's parked in front of the entrance door, and that all I could do was pray while he was shooting at my car. And we also have a statement this morning from FedEx, who shared this late last night, saying that they are aware of that tragic shooting at their ground facility near the airport. They say that safety is a top priority and that their thoughts are with all of those who are affected. We're working to gather more information and are cooperating with investigating authorities. So just want to give you some more context. We've got a lot of questions as if you work in that area. We've seen how close this is to the airport. Maybe if you need to head to the airport this morning, a lot of people waking up and hearing of this tragic shooting the first time, maybe wondering if you'll need to report to work if you work near that facility or at that facility. So police right now are saying the best advice that they can share is to make sure that you're reaching out to your supervisor individually and give you some direction there as to what to do, because again, we know that area has heavy police presence and will likely be closed off very, very well into the morning, guys.
Julia, thanks so very much. Now, again, what we can tell you, we know 8 people shot and killed at that FedEx facility. Obviously, just horrifying, heartbreaking situation right now for the families that are involved here. So that facility is closed as police continue there at the scene right now to investigate. If you do work there, as Julia mentioned, police say that they want you to contact your supervisor to see how you're to move forward today. You can also keep checking WTHR.com and our news app. We have new details that are being posted as soon as we get them. And we'll, of course, stay on this story here on 13 News all morning. And Carlos, you know, Julia there was talking about that Chrissy that had commented on our Facebook page. And we actually have a video of a car that has 3 bullet holes in it. Maybe we can show that sometime later this morning. But that just shows, you know, that this violence extended out into the parking lot even before he went in there into the building.
Julia, I just got off the phone with someone who works at the facility, and she told me that she's there every morning. And they actually call it the sunrise shift. She starts at 6:30. She's not going in this morning. And I said to her, I said, can you imagine being caught up in this? And she said, you know, it's such a spread out facility because a lot of people are working in trucks because they're loading boxes on trucks. And she said that a lot of times, you know, she thought to herself that if when she's working that, you know, she might have headphones in, or she might have, you know, she might be in the truck. She said, I don't know if I can even hear an active shooter. We had one individual that said that he thought it was a car backfiring when he heard the shots. gunshots ringing out. So because of the layout of this FedEx ground facility, it's not a totally indoor facility. There are people outside loading up trucks as well. So that's where you have that mass confusion, because it's not just a small office space. It is a huge facility, both inside and out. I asked her if she had contacted or been contacted by anybody from FedEx, and she said no. I said, "Are you gonna go into work this morning?" She said, "Heck no." She said she's incredibly shaken by this, and she will not be heading into work this morning. And her thoughts and prayers are with her friends. In fact, she pointed out she's really good friends with one of the security guards, and she said, "I hope that he's okay."